And we're back for the after hours portion of the EverCast, whatever it is, I forget.
So this podcast.
Right. So one of the things I want to point out is that people were talking about floating islands in the sky. I saw that conversation in Twitch chat, and if you go back and you look at that video, there's that layered map of the world where they have the different tiers, and you'll notice that tier 3, there's the one in the sky. Oh yeah, we're going to have floating areas to find and explore in EQ next. That's one of the things that I'm like 95% certain on until I step foot on it. I won't be 100% certain, but yeah, I'm almost certain that we will see it.
Oh, but the floating, yeah,
I would agree. Like when we were at SW, like Tanley, you were with me. They seemed pretty passionate about the entire thing, so I definitely see it coming soon.
Right, and then one of the things about that every time I see that drawing, I remind myself of some thought that I had previously, and then watching that video again, you see that there's the tier 1 and there's the tier 2 and then there's the tier 3, and then between the tier 2 and the tier 3, it's the tier 2 or the tier 3 barrier, and they've never said, like, they've never expanded upon that other than the fact that, you know, like, whatever it is that's going to prevent them, you know, you can go from tier, down to tier 1 and down to tier 2, but then we're going to have, like, I hope it's some sort of, like, epic, not epic, but just some sort of difficult, challenging, fun, and exciting way that we have to come up with the way to get through that barrier. And that's
it feels like it should be more of a team thing rather than just like, oh, you need this item, this item, this item, and then go. Yeah, I want it to be a team thing.
That's a perfect explanation. I don't want it to be the hey, you can solo around in tier 1 and you can get down to tier 2 by yourself, but when you go down to tier 3, bring friends because you're going to need them.
I would like to see, like, maybe like world bosses up in the tier 3 floating island. Something that's like, I want to get up there, but I know if I'm going to get up there, I need to bring my guild and I need to bring some friends because it's gonna be a hell of a party up there. So that's what I would like to see. Well, because the floating island on the video was tier 3.
Yeah, the floating in the video the
tier 3
sky. Yes,
tier 3. Yeah,
I thought it was tier 2. My bad.
Nope. Yeah, if you're gonna go up or down, you better bring some friends. Don't take that wrong. I meant that in the nicest way. Oh boy. Anyway.
So many words.
But like I could see like in from what we saw last year in the video, that weird boss down in the lava, I don't remember his name. That would be like a tier 3 boss, and then maybe we see like a dragon on a floating island up above where it's like kind of peering down over everybody, and it's one of the world bosses that we can go up and if we kill it, it's dead, but a new dragon replaces it because it had children or whatever. That's what I'd like to see.
Yep. So here's a thought over the topic that we were just talking about. Metallical writes, I'm not against grouping in general. I'm a pretty social guy. However, I don't want to have to get a group together just because I want some mithril to put in my build. And I
buy some.
Well,
like no, you could use the upper tiers, get materials from there, sell them on, and then buy mithril.
Oh, that's a good point. That you could, use the resources that you can acquire solo, sell them off in game to buy them the ones that you can obtain. I get that. And then the other thing is that when we're talking like building, there's the difference between EverQuest Next and then Landmark. And in building, I would say that what would you say if there was no like in Landmark, to get down to tier 3, you just have to dig down far enough, no grouping required. But when you go down, and then when you switch over to EverQuest Next, that's when you're talking about like the grouping. Would you want it to see the same in both games, or would you like to see it differentiated between the two games?
I want to see it separated because I think in Landmark it's more of, if I'm going down deep, it's because I'm trying to collect ore and stuff. Yeah, the monsters can be a little tougher the deeper I go, or there's more of them. And I take that risk going down to get better loot or better ore and whatever, or more, chests. That I can take into consideration. But when I'm going over to Next, if the deeper I go in Next, then the more people I want to bring with me. I can see tier 2 being like almost like a dungeon style, like maybe a party of 3 or 5 going on tier 2, and then like 5 to raid, whatever a raid group would be, and EverQuest Next would be your tier 3 type, maybe tier 4 if they have that. So would be those types of levels. So.
Plus, there's the incentive, and that they've already put in a slight incentive to group up in Landmark, in that you get that bonus when your friend is digging up whatever, and you get that bonus in your bag. And so there's already incentives to group up when you're going to harvest specific resources. And I think that, as the game develops, like if they can incentivize it just a tiny bit, I think that balances out. Okay, yes, you need the group, but yeah, there's also the incentive, not just being able to get it, but to being, more beneficial for you to be in a group, period.
I agree. And that would be nice, because that means like the more people you have in your party, if it's appropriate, the more loot you get, or you get more appropriate loot for the party members.
Increased chance to proc rares, that sort of things, as your like, hey, if your buddy has an item that gives a group buff and you have an item that gives a different group buff. Now you can't have both of those buffs up at the same time unless you're in a group. Those sort of, incentives that they can, that we've already seen in other games, that you can make it better for, to operate in groups, so that you can be solo, but it is, it's beneficial. It's, to do it.
The importance of a bard, then, that would be the exact reason to have a bard in your group. So he plays the song that boosts your weapon power.
And is useless for everything else, right?
Yes.
No, not.
I hope
bards are terrible. I'm just gonna say.
No, because Rifted bards, I feel they did bards pretty okay. Like they could rock and melt the face of an enemy. That was always kind of cool. You bust out your tuba, play a tuba in a guy's face, and it kind of died. It was kind of cool. They kind of did, like, and you can break away from that. Who says that you can't play music that both buffs your party and then drives monsters mad and crazy, that makes them want to kill themselves or do damage to themselves? Bards are like, we always think the traditional bard, that's the guy who buffs the group and dies a bajillion times, because the D&D days, that's like, yeah. You had a bard in your group, your bard is mostly likely, if you didn't protect him, he was the guy that was always going to die first.
He was the red shirt from Star Trek.
He was.
Yes.
All bards are red shirts. But I think if they go along the lines of like, why can't a bard both sing both the tunes of the magic and both the tunes of misery? Like, make them like, I can wield magic that buffs and helps my team and then drives monsters mad and makes them do damage to themselves, or confounds an enemy that makes him attack his other friends. Bards are not as simple as you think. Bards 2014.
Are you a bard, Peter?
I'm not. I seriously, I'm a tank first and foremost, and then I'm a mage after that. Usually, like, I'm a motherfucking sorcerer. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
Did you say I'm a tank? First and foremost, I'm a tank.
Yeah, first and foremost, I'm a tank.
He's a tank unless he's a howitzer.
Yeah, I'm a tank. Pretty much. I'm a warrior. I'm a warrior or a berserker. I'm more the guy that sticks out front and says, "Here's my shield. Here's my sword. Let me crack skulls open and shove my foot in their stomach."
It's okay. Tanking is my favorite role.
Yeah, so it's mine too. Unless I'm a sorcerer or a wizard of some sort, then that's always fun too for me. I just like standing in the back. I always like. If anybody remembers, and a lot of people should, if anybody remembers Monty Python's Quest for the Holy Grail, I even had a character. I had a warlock, and warlocks are not always my favorite characters, but I had a warlock called some call me Tim from the Warlock in Monty Python Quest for the Holy Grail, where they're like, what is your name? He's like, some call me Tim. So I had a warlock named Some Call Me Tim. Greatest name ever.
I'm gonna put up a link. You were talking about the Portland bagpipe player that puts out fire.
What?
The bagpiper. Yeah.
No. Right, it's not just that he plays a bagpipe that's blowing fire. He does it while he's unicycling, and I just put up a picture for our Twitch streamers of the most.
So we get on that.
The most badass.
Is he the one that Brass was talking about? He's from Portland.
Yeah, and if you look in the background of that, if you look in the background of the picture, you can make out Portland, Oregon. He's
I saw that. And he's actually wearing the Monty Python Quest for the Grill.
And he's got his squire behind him with the
fantastic.
That guy wins on so many levels. Like it's just like, oh my god.
What? Not gonna lie, that's what bards should be in the game. Bards need to have weapons that do that. They need to like have fire coming out of them and stuff. Like, listen, I'm just saying, we all need to take an internet poll. That should be the poll.
Tobrin, I would like to know, how do you feel about bagpipes blowing fire?
Right, here's the thing. If I go into town to do my shopping, right, here's the thing. I hear bagpipes everywhere. I can't stand them anymore, okay? It's got to that point where I'm like, okay, can't stand this. Until one day, I saw this guy playing, and he had, like, water jets coming out of the bagpipes, and I was mesmerized for, like, hours on end.
That's fair. Listen, I want to point out that on the bottom of his kilt, said the Unipi, and then I put it together, it's the Unipiper. That's his name! He calls himself the Unipiper, and it's fantastic! I solved the mystery. He's confirmed the Unipiper.
It is not the same person that Brass is talking about then.
It's fantastic!
There's more than one flame-blowing bagpiper in Portland, Oregon.
Because the one that Brass is talking about doesn't call himself anything like that. It's the Bad Piper.
Oh, no, yeah, look at the bottom of that guy. If you could throw up the picture again, look at the bottom of his kilt. It says the unit and then P. So it has to be the Unipiper.
Krona, I totally agree with you. Krona is yelling at Tobrin saying you are not Scottish. I am so Scottish. And it's funny that Tobrin is like, I don't like bagpipes.
No. See, and I grew up in Olympia, Washington. If you know where that is at the map, it's about 30 minutes away from Aberdeen, Washington. When I was in high school, Nirvana came big, okay? After Nirvana became big, every guy in my high school was in a garage band of some sort. And now, Nirvana, I'm just like, please, could you turn it off? I know that it's like our regional music, grunge and everything, but no, enough. So I totally understand where Tobrin is coming from. Like, if you're not from, like, the area, you know, you're being like, bagpipes, cool. And then you're like, I listen to bagpipes every day. No more.
Yeah, those are... yeah, Kyle's posted the link. Yeah, that guy's completely different. I saw that guy. That dude's got, like, a black leather kilt. When I saw that black leather kilt, I was like, I need to rock that next year at SOE Live. I need to get a black leather kilt and rock
that. I can help you make that happen.
Or there's a website. It's a Seattle company called Utilikilt.
Yep.
I love Tobin. He's like, please don't do that. Please.
You get a kilt. You get a real kilt. You don't get a leather one. That's wrong.
Oh, can I have a black plaid kilt?
Black watch. You could get a black watch one.
Yeah.
Sweet.
See,
fantastic.
So hold on, really quickly. I won't say the name in case Tobrin has an issue with it, but Tobrin and I actually share heritage.
No, I'm fine with you.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's fine.
We're both Clan Drummond. Yay!
We're still cool. We're still cool. Good. As long as oh my, there's a video. I'll watch it later. There's a video of the Unipiper. There's a video of the Unipiper.
I'm gonna have to go back and definitely.
We're going to go back and watch that. But yeah, like I was saying, bards would be cool. But I don't know. I would like to see like the classes be, yeah. Well, we also forget because weapons can change your skill set, your moves or your attack abilities. We forget that, you know, it'd be benefit, like you could have a warrior do one role and then have another warrior do something completely different based on the weapon he's using or they're using. And the same for, like, you know, you could have a long, you know, a ranger with a bow and then have a, you know, two dual, like, you know, the dual wielding something else, and be that, you know, a bard could be something like I buff the group and heal up everybody, like a healer / buff person, like a priest or something like that. And then you'd have another bard that does damage or puts debuffs on people and does
that
damage
makes
to
sense
things.
With the weapon sets that they're doing it.
Yeah. So I think it'd be interesting. I think we really need to see that at SOE Live. I know, was it this was it the video that we a few weeks ago that they put out about the vote they took about what people want to see at SOE Live? It was all it was like 98% EverQuest Next.
Yeah.
So people want to know at this point. Like you mentioned it last year, you've given us landmarking. It was very landmark centric, and you're kind of showing us more with the design this for us, design the carrot, and you keep giving us little tidbits and nuggets of information, and we follow. We're kind of like ET with M&Ms. We keep following the little trail, and we keep eventually. Listen, we want to phone home. Eventually, we want to get to the point where we figure out what's going on. So I would like to see a new trailer, and I would like to see more gameplay, actual physical gameplay, not.
And I'm pretty sure that we're going to see it because the combat was on the blueprint for coming out before SOE Live. It was supposed to come out sometime in July when I looked at it, and then I went and looked at it the next week, and it was off. And there was a little tiny blurb about SOE Live and combat. What was it? I don't know. There was some cryptic message that kind of made you think combat or PvP. And so I'm sure that they just said okay, why don't we hold off on and showcase that at SOE Live? So I'm sure that they listened to that and want to show it to us there.
Yeah.
So back on to that, and Flatus, you were going to say, otherwise we could move on to.
No. I was just going to say that's the perfect time to do it. Is you
perfect
have
time.
tons of perfect time. So.
So right before we went to the break, we were talking about different servers not only having different rules but different stories. How do you feel about that? What would you say no because then it's too hard to know on what server to start on, or are you saying no, that's epic because then different communities that have different focuses could basically start telling their own story? What are your thoughts?
I can jump right in. One server
will snowball over the other by far. One server will get the foot up. Another person will give you oh, well, they have that, so I'm just going to go there. And the more and more people that come in, they'll go for the ones where they have more options. And that'll just snowball one server over the rest.
And we can also remember from SOE Live last year, Dave was saying that, he was kind of going over that. And I don't remember, maybe it wasn't Dave or it was in one of the panels, but they definitely mentioned they wanted kind of server identity. They wanted to be able to say this server has keynotes and this other server doesn't have keynotes set based on story. The question is, since it's going to be free to play, do they lock you into that server? Are you locked in that server for life until you delete a character that you can jump on another server? How are they going to play that to make people stay server, what's the word I'm looking for? Loyal, server loyal. You want to stay, I'm invested in the server regardless of where I am in the story. I'm invested in my server with my friends, and we'll push together to clear the story. Even though we're not as far ahead as that server, I want to see where this goes. Is it going to be based on story, or do you just want it? It's going to be you're going to have that divided line of the people who just want to get in there and say, I'm going to push the end game, whatever end game's going to be, and try to see end game, which we don't know what that is yet. And then there's going to be the other side where there's the people that are, lore nerds, kind of like me, the people that want to see the story. So it doesn't matter as long as we see the story in the way it's supposed to be presented. So
and about that whole shifting servers, right? So this is lessons that I've learned and I've discovered through my MMO playing, is that I used to play on Warcraft on a very, very low population server, and every patch, every time they patched in a new raid so that raid was the current content. Okay, I won't say every, but what we would see is that another guild would transfer off of the server that they were on and transfer onto our server because they wanted to get that server first, and they could do it on a low population server because they realized that we just didn't care about that sort of content. And I just saw them sure, they'd get their server first or whatever, but it definitely would. It would kill their community over time, because what our community on that server was about was totally different from what they were about. And so sure, they could do it, but any guild, you need to be able to regularly recruit to replace burnout, to steadily stay involved. And if you can't connect with the community that's on that server, you can't recruit. Nobody wants to join you. And that's the lesson that I learned from watching other people do that. And I saw a guild transfer off to another server because they wanted to get away from the low population and go to a high population. And did it solve the problem of that guild? No, it pretty much died once it transferred off, even though it was on a high population server. So I'd say that to be realistic, like, and if I talk to anybody, and that's what I have this show to do, is put that message out there, is that play with your friends and play on the server that you find yourself on first. Don't try chasing other that on other servers, because in the long run, I've never seen it work out. You just stay true to what your community is about and what your guild is about, and have fun that way. That's my thought, my throw out there.
Yeah, we've.
No, go ahead, Kai.
We've had some issues with server hopping, trying to keep up with the rating and all of that. Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, and the same thing. I can take this from Rift when I played Rift. I remember when we first started. I was on not a like I was one of the first servers I was up. So I played Rift from like beta on. So, and I was on one of the first servers I was up, and then when they allowed free server transfers, we went to a more populated server just so we can get more people in the guild, and that worked. I mean, it was worth it, and the server transfers are free, which is fantastic, and it made sense. So we went to a higher end server, and we got tons of people in the guild at that point. It was fantastic because that was how the game was kind of set up. It was rather you were going to PvP, which PvP was okay in Rift, but it was more of a PvE type setting. There was more story and rating in that game than anything. So you went to where the people were doing that. The question is, Dig said there's no end game in EQ next. What is end game? Is end game rating? Like what are? I mean, you think about EverQuest is known for their dungeons and their killing of dragons in large groups. People waiting hours on end. Some people like. My friend played. I couldn't afford something like EverQuest when I was in high school, but my friend played. He used his money from his job and he played EverQuest. And I remember one time he came to school completely tired. I was like, "What was up?" He was like, "I was up till 3 a.m. waiting for a raid boss to pop to be the first one in our guild to go get it." And so the thing is, like, we're gonna see. I would say at least 40 man. We would think 40 man maybe raids and guild. You want to group up with people. To say there's no end game, it just we gotta now we have to kind of look at what that means nowadays.
That is the perfect transition over to one of the topics we talked about in the pre-show, and I want to wrap up the conversation about the servers, the rallying calls. Changing the story of a server going forward, wrap up that conversation. But that thought of endgame is the perfect transition into that achievement topic that we had talked about a little bit.
Well, with the rallying calls, I'll say this: I think that it's a fresh idea. It's more of a fresh idea than I think what Guild Wars 2 did. But I'm not a big fan of Guild Wars 2, and I don't think Tobrin is either. He's more of a Guild Wars 1 fan, which is fine. But I just don't like the way they presented it in Guild Wars 2. I think Guild Wars 2 did some things correct. I think the I don't want to say living story, but the little group, like the area-wide quests you can do, those were always kind of fun. Like there was one that had a ghost ship off the coast, and you had to use cannons to shoot it down. I thought stuff like that's fun for me. Rallying, so like the minier rallying calls, I guess we would call them in these games. So I think that's going to be fun.
And Tobin and Kylest, talk servers.
I'm also mixed minds about this. Like, I just don't want a server to just completely snowball, because it's inevitable. If you give so many people, just be like, well, you get that if you go there. It's only going to work if they say, you get that if you go there, but if you go here, you get this. It only works as if it's an even divide. If they say, player generated, go find that quest, do it. One server will snowball over the rest. If they have it so, well, one server has the Barbarian questline opened, another could have a Ratonga questline open, and create that divide, like who wants this more than the other, Then when that's done, they can say, well, okay, now what? Oh, we can do that quest line that we had here that was on the other server, and the other server can do the same by going to that quest on their server. If that works, I'm cool with that. Other way around, I'm not happy.
Well, okay, so what if I want to play Rotanga and I have to play on that server, but my best friend wants to play a race that's only allowed on the other server? Then I don't get to play with my friend anymore because we're divided by race.
That problem's going to happen anyway if it was to go with the old system. It depends how they want to do it.
Yeah,
Player unlocking race isn't the best way to do anything, in my opinion.
Yeah, we really have to see how they're going to implement the rallying calls for race unlocks. Are they going to just give everybody the race when one person unlocks it, or when that storyline opens up, even though we haven't gotten to that point, do people still get that character race, even though they're not at that point in the story? It's something to think about. I think it's something for Sony to think about, and us to kind of wait and see how they want to handle it. And they may have already figured it out. Maybe they've already like, guys, come on, that was like day one.
Right. Well, yeah, right. You got to assume that that's one of the conversations that they've had. So hopefully they're ahead of us in the ball game since they're designing the game. They have their strategy on how to handle it. So wrapping that up and moving on the blueprint for after SOE Live, they have mentioned there are achievements, and I think that Dave has also tweeted it out. The achievements are coming for the game, and I think I've mentioned it before that my friends talked me into playing WoW. I play WoW just a little bit, and I had no idea how easy it is to dangle an achievement in front of my head and watch me chase after it, like, oh my god, I'm achievement, and we were just talking about endgame. And that was like the perfect thing for the perfect segue. That is my end game. Until I'm 100 of 100, percent achievement completed, I keep going at it, and that's the end game for me because my friends aren't really hardcore raiders, and they're not like fanatical PvPers, and they're not really role players. They're just having fun playing the game, and they talked me into playing it with them because they're my friends. And so what do I do when I log in? I'm like, well, let's do you guys have this mount? Do you guys have this title? Do you have this achievement done? Let's go do it. And that's the kind of, like if they have that in EverQuest Next, it will be so easy for them to keep me entertained because I guess I'm not very sophisticated in that regard. I'm like, oh, achievement, because I feel so silly.
Until the achievement requires luck.
She's so right. She's so right.
Oh,
I hate those. Those are the ones that I hate the most. It's like there's, and I hate bringing up Warcraft, but there's an achievement for fishing something up, right? Do you know how freaking hard it is? How many hours
with
do you have
Mr.
to
Crafty?
Like,
oh yeah.
It's like, so the people that have that achievement, they didn't did they earn it or did they get it because they were lucky? And how many
baby RNG?
It's like you got that achievement because one day the RNG gods smiled down on you and said, bam, achievement. And I hate those. I hate those.
No, what he really hates is the RNG gods. Like, they smiled on me one day and I got 2 rare mounts back to back. Raid drop mounts. So he was like, I was like, oh my god, babe, I just got Midnight at a Karazhan. That's my second run ever. What? I was like, it's a lucky day. So I totally went and got the White Hot Strider immediately after that. And I was like, look, babe, mount number 2, rare drop. Ha 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 ha. He's so pissed.
I just don't want to go too much into talking about WoW, and I just kind of want to shut her up about that. But what do you guys think? Do you think that achievements at endgame it makes for a compelling enough, an interesting enough endgame? Do you find that it's interesting? Do you think that it's a game could capture your attention in that way?
No, halting progression from RNG is wrong. Because someone on their first time could go in and get it, just like Kyla's got it. And someone else is going to run after run after run after run. Still doesn't get it. And then you sit there like, you didn't really earn that. You just got lucky. And you just sit there and you cry. And you drink and you cry. So, yeah.
He's not lying at all. I totally back that up. I completely agree. Weapons, alright. If it's something like a mount and you want to make the mount rare, okay, yeah, then it's the mount, but don't tie the mount to an achievement, because I think that if you drop the raid boss, perfect, you got the raid boss. But if you get the horse that the raid boss rides around on, that should not be like, oh, you got White Steed and you got the achievement for White Steed and like yay, and it's like then the luck, like it's like, okay, cool, you got the steed, like you're the one person in the guild that got the luck roll on the steed.
Right.
But
Congrats.
Feats of strength.
No, they're feats of luck. Is what they are. They are feats of luck.
Feats of strength. Okay, I will give a feat of strength to, like, all right, you bought a collector's edition feat of strength achievement. That's saying like, all right, cool, you got a feat of strength achievement because you spent the extra money and got a collector's edition. All right, cool, that's your feat of strength. Or you got into beta, or you got an alpha, so here's your feat of strength. Thank you for playing. Here's a little like in-game achievement for doing that. Congratulations. I think that should count. Like if there are achievement points, I think cut out the points. I think you should get achievements. And I think there should be like an achievement counter, but I don't think there should be points.
Scoreboard.
Do you like the scoreboard?
No.
Do you like the
I hate to say this, but in World of Warcraft, again, I know that I bring that game up a lot, but it's because it's what I play a lot. There is an achievement for getting over 9,000 achievement points, and it's over 9,000. Okay, so Tanlin got that achievement over a year ago. He's now over 14,000 achievement points.
You're way above me, buddy.
He is checking the logs on like 2 and 3 times a day. Like, babe, I'm number 14 paladin on the entire server. No, babe, no. Now I'm number 13. Holy crap, I'm like number 4 in the guild. I am not even remotely kidding. And that is exactly what he's doing on a daily basis. Not like once a day. I'm talking like 3 or 4 times a day. He's updating me on these things, and it's like, I just got the brains of the thundering onyx cloud serpent. Neener.
No, and that's how competitive I am in that regard. In that, like, I'm by far, more than anybody else in my guild. And if I see one of my guildmates get like 2 or 3 achievements, it doesn't matter how many points it is. It doesn't matter how far below me, but they got 3 today and I only got 1 today. There's something wrong. I've got to go get 2 more. Otherwise they're catching up on me. But
he's totally like that.
So that's the thing, is that so Velex, what did he say? I'm gonna go back and read his comment, because I think I understand what he's saying here. Achievements aren't content; they're a carrot to dangle in front of someone. They're a carrot to dangle in front of some people who don't enjoy the content for the playability alone. And I kind of disagree with it. I think that is playability. I'm still playing the game. It's like, I'm not going back and just like making achievements. I'm making them sound like they're ridiculous easy to get. But most times I challenge myself to attempt to get the more difficult ones that are part of playing the game. But the incentive for me, it becomes not just the loot, not just that I'm playing with my friends, but there's another there's a measurable thing that I can add to the playability that increases how much I enjoy the game. And I mean, maybe it's because I'm like that analogical. I've got to chart and track everything. That's like, okay, I had fun, but how much fun did I have? And then I can be like, oh, my fun was worth 10 points. I guess is what I'm saying.
My fun was worth. How much fun did I have today? I had 20 points of fun. You need to have like the movie phone guy. Like you need to have the movie phone guy in your ears. Today you had 20 points of fun. Congratulations. I would love to see that. Like, you need a mod in every game that's just like that guy's voice reading off your achievement points, telling you how much fun you had. It's in point form. He would have so much more fun in life if he had achievement points for life.
Do it to me at my work, like when I'm actually doing my like, yes!
Not gonna lie, if I could have achievement points in other areas of my life, I think I'd probably do things a lot. I'd be like, shit, I got 50 points for doing that. That's awesome. I may do that for like cleaning up my apartment. I may set up achievement points, like clean the bathroom today, get 20 points.
Well, that's like some of those self-improvement apps and websites. What's one of them? habitrpg.com. They kickstarted it, and it was basically a way to change your habits, whatever habits you wanted to change. If you wanted to break bad habits, add new habits, and you could like basically turn it into an RPG, right? Where you got experience points for doing your doing your task and doing your breaking your habit or whatever. And I thought that it would be more compelling than it was. And the problem is that not that it wasn't like, oh hey, I'm going to log in and I'm going to get my my experience for doing my daily habit quest. What stopped me is because it wasn't very differentiated. It was like, okay, doing the same stuff every day. And so like I find that there's going to be a segment of the population in EverQuest Next that are going to love achievements. They just need to have a depth to them. Like you can't, like if you're going to do it, don't do it so that you can have 100% of the achievements in like, even a couple of months. You want people working on that for like years.
Yeah. I like achievements. I'm not against them. I kind of like when they unlock certain things. Not like titles. I kind of like titles in games too. Like when I get like a title for my character, like Flatus the skeleton slayer or something like that. Like I'm like I did something that. Collector. Yeah, like oh please, please. I would love a title called Bear Butt Collector or Bear Butt Flatus. Just Bear Butt. Just the title.
I adore achievements that are tied to titles. I really like titles.
Yeah, so do I.
Are fun.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I am especially fond of ones like Star Caller and the Light of Dawn. That one's great. I like being the Light of Dawn.
Mm-hmm. I just for anybody that maybe knew that I went on a rant, maybe like episode 10, 11 about questing and like how in Warcraft, like, or any game really, you had to go out to go kill bears and you had to collect bear butts because that's always something you got to do. Like it's go collect 10 bear butts and you go out there and you kill 47 bears and it like out of the 47 bears that's how you get your 10 bear butts.
And
like
the 37 of them didn't have butts.
Yeah, like 37 of them didn't have butts, and it was like, and then the only way that like I felt like as a character to roleplay that correctly is that I killed them so amazingly, is that I just completely destroyed their butts and they were not usable for the quest. Like their butts were gone. Like I had my melon baller there plucking out their butts, and I couldn't do it no more. Yep, that came out of my mouth. Melon baller and bear butts. Good thing we have a title already, or else it would be Melon Baller Bear Butt title. So, yeah, there you go. There you go. Welcome to the internet. Continuing, as tied to Endgame, I think that if you put in the work, I'm bringing it back around. If you put in the work, to kill like a raid boss with your guild and stuff, I think that's cool. I think you should get a title and achievement, and you should get the weapon, whatever they drop, and something, because that's kind of like your way of saying like, I did this thing. Like, look at this. Here's the title, here's the weapon, or here's the cloak, or whatever they give you. And I did that with my group, and we were the first, or we were the second, whatever. Whenever you did it, so like you're recognized on that server for doing that thing, and that's. Oh jeez. What Flatus likes furry bear butts so much that he pounds them with his weapon. Jeez! Wait. Typed by Tobin Irwin. Of course! Of course! Anyone else I wouldn't expect it. But from him, of course. Guess who's next to me shooting arrows at those bear butts though? Tobin.
Yeah, well,
he's sitting there launching arrows into their brown eye while I'm sitting there punching them in the butt with my sword. Oh jeez. Let's pull the plane back up. Let's pull the plane back up. Keep dying.
I genuinely think that it's time to grab a parachute and GTFO.
Yeah, we really need to pull this plane right on up. We are going down so far down. Oh jeez. Anyway.
What she said.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
So, Fran Sweezy said titles and achievements may be more valuable because spawn locations aren't static. I completely agree, and I think that's a fantastic way to do it.
And that was actually one of the points I was going to bring up. Let this all hash out and then say later on that one of the things that I don't like about achievements is that, like, in Warcraft, you log in, you look at your achievement, your achievement log, you look at the ones that you don't have, and you're like, huh, how do I go about doing that? And then you go out of the game, you look at the wiki, and the wiki tells you step-by-step, guide on how to get it, solo, how to get it with a group, how to get it if you're this class. And I'm like, okay, let's, I don't know. I like that aspect that if there's something that I want to do, I can look up and get it done. But on the other hand, like achievements I wish that there was just some way to be like, yes, I did this and I did this on my own. Because one of my favorite memories from Vanguard when I was crafting is that when I discovered the quest for the first time on Shidrith, and so there was no guide on how to get it done. And it was like 10 levels over where I was supposed to be. But through my own cunning, I learned like I can stand here, I can invis here, and I can get the quest done. And I felt like that was one of the coolest things that I ever did in Vanguard, and there was no achievement for it. I'm trying not to get distracted by the screen over there.
Don't read it. Don't read it.
Don't read it.
Don't read it.
Okay.
Don't.
I'm gonna turn it off. Bye.
Yeah. Best.
Because I'm scared. I'm scared that they'll have to pick me up off the floor and I'll be rolling around laughing.
I am gonna leave my glasses off, and maybe I won't be able to read it anymore.
I personally don't like them. I've never really enjoyed them. Like if there's a game and it has an achievement or a quest, I feel like because I've accepted it, it's my duty to figure out that quest, do the achievement, do whatever. That's just the thing I enjoy doing. But when people say, "Oh, I got that ages ago," I'm like, "Oh, how did you get it?" It's like, "Oh, I looked at my guide." I'm like, "Where's the fun in that?" Like you're not actually doing the quest; you're reading what someone else has done.
I'm gonna have to promise myself when I'm playing EverQuest next that.
Babe, are you pulling a Talon? Maybe.
Did I? I might have. Well, it's unmuted now. It's unmuted now. I was so scared that I forgot that I had muted myself. I'm sorry. How long did I go on?
I can't believe what I typed in chat, and then I just realized what I typed, and I looked down at somebody was just like, OMG Flatus. Don't read it! Don't read it out loud, because it was pretty bad.
Okay, we just turn that on.
Yeah.
But what we were just talking about is that for like the first, and we lost Tobrin. Did we lose it? We lost Kailas too. Okay, I'm gonna focus with me here. People reading.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I'm with you. Right here. Look at me. Look at me. We're gonna get through this. I think I might play like the first 6 months or so of EverQuest Next without looking up instructions on how to do things online. Like I'm gonna try and figure out the difficult quests and the difficult areas to figure out. I want to try and do that on my own without the help from the internet and then see how I feel about it. I think that I'm gonna have to promise myself that. When EverQuest Next launches. After that 6 months, then maybe I'll look on the guides and be like, oh, that was an easier way to do that particular thing. All right.
Listen, I completely agree. I think I'm gonna go in for like the first 6, maybe 7 months into this game with I kind of and it's hard to say, but I want to go into this with that. This is my first MMO because I believe in my heart the SOE is wiping the slate clean and saying this is what we're not trying to copy Warcraft, we're not trying to copy any other game, but this is the new entry into what MMO or what we think MMO is going to be for the role playing genre. And I'm going to go into that mindset of this is a whole new world, this is all new lore. I'm going to go in with that mindset of this is a whole I'm going to go in hopefully with that yay!
Totally. And that's one of the reasons when people were talking about EverQuest 1 and EverQuest 2, going back and playing those games, getting ready for EverQuest Next, is at a certain point in time, I decided that hey, I'm going to read the E novels and I'm going to play EverQuest Next, and I want that experience from SOE to be original and unique, and not I'm going to bring on my baggage from playing Vanguard, but I'm going to leave. I don't want to bring over expectations that I have from EverQuest or EverQuest 2 with me into a new game. I want this to be somewhat fresh in that regard.
Yeah, and I don't want it to feel like any other and I've played a lot of MMOs. I don't want it to feel like any, and I specifically speaking, MMORPG, because that's something else we're going to talk about, I think, in another episode.
That was the one that I was gonna. Yeah, if anybody wants to know, like we were gonna, if Chad Trueno was going to be on tonight, that's one of the topics we were going to talk about is specifically what is an MMO, and then what is an MMORPG, and what does that mean? Because of course, we hear it, but we might actually be thinking of different things, and there might be things that we can think about in different ways. But hey, and instead we decided we're going to pull on Tobrin and talk about all of the things. And oh my goodness, maybe that was a mistake. Who's responsible
for this?
That
was a mistake.
Oh, I don't think so. I might have said it. I didn't believe it.
I like Tobrin.
Who doesn't? Let's be real.
Yeah. I mean, Tobrin likes me a lot when he gets drinks. So.
Oh yeah. Never reveal those messages. I swear.
No. I will never. Well, I will never say what you tell me on Skype. Just let it know, ladies and maybe gentlemen. You wish you got those type of messages. just.
That's
right. Wow.
That's right.
Just saying. Wink. Just saying. Anyway, I completely but I do. I agree with Tamlin. I think it's time for something fresh in the MMORPG genre, and it shouldn't feel like Warcraft. It shouldn't feel like you shouldn't jump in the game and feel like it's the same old grind. It's just a different skin and a different lore, and it's the same. Even if you rename class, it's still a warrior, it's still a paladin, it's still a cleric, it's still a mage with different sets, or if you want to split them up, there's an ice mage and there's still a warlock type class. I think we need to break those up, and I think it's time for change. And I think, I've said this before, I think Sony has got their mindset and their eye on doing something completely different with the genre and making it fresh and making it new. And it's hard to do that. It's hard to stick out your chest and say, listen, this we're not doing the same thing that we've done before, and we're not doing the same thing that everyone else has done, but we're doing something completely fresh and new, and hopefully succeeds. I want them to succeed. I really do.
I
should never re-chat. I broke you both.
I was just going to say that I never have a problem sticking out my chest, but then I was rethinking it because it was only going to add to the chat. But
yeah.
How about that coffee?
Yeah. Actually, and I'll say this to Tobrin because Tobrin hasn't said anything well. But Tobrin, as a PvP player, what do you want to see in EverQuest next? I know you want to see PvP, of course, but as you progress through PvP, what is it something that you want to see?
I want different types of PvP. There's more to PvP than just fighting. There are other types of PvP, like you've got spleefing. That's the thing. Dropping another player into a different zone. You could probably do that, like underground or overground, even at that, and kill another player. You could do things like capture the flag and take primary objectives from another faction or whatever. There's loads of different stuff, and people just think, fight. I want to see different stuff. I want to see objective capturing with fighting with other players. Things like that are what really drives me towards PvP. But in terms of progression...
I was going to say, do you want to see siege weapons and stuff, like taking over castles?
Yes, Guild Wars 2 did that really well. It flopped out for a while, but for a while it was epic. It felt like a raid. You were with your friends, you were going out, fighting, taking out a castle, taking out its walls, booming in, killing everyone, killing the guild lord, taking it for yourself, having your guild logo displayed for everyone to see. Holy crap, that was amazing.
It was, and I agree. The beginning of Guild Wars 2, and what stopped being so great about that from the beginning of Guild Wars 2 to now? Do you still feel that way, or what happened?
It became too systematic. It was like, okay, everyone here, now here, okay, there. It became so systematic. It was like, right. Do we actually fight these people, or do we just take out their walls? It was
exactly my experience. It was like you put the trebuchet here and knock down that wall right there. and it because when you put your trebuchet here, they can't hit it from any of those locations, and they have to come up this way. And that was where for me, Guild Wars 2 became really static, is because that at the beginning when everybody was figuring out all of the best strategies, it had a lot of epicness to it. But then over time, it just became no, this is how you do it. And yeah, after a while, it just got really repetitive, and it wasn't as interesting or fun.
Totally agree.
Somebody said they wanted freeze tag PvP. That would be fun.
That would be fun.
That'd be fun.
I have to say, some of the things Guild Wars 2 did, I think they changed up PvP during the holiday seasons, where they did some special event PvP where I remember I was playing during winter, and winter had your move set was you had snowballs and candy canes and stuff, and those were your weapons. I thought that was fun. I thought that was something it wasn't just killing. Now it was you were having snowball fights with people, and it's change it up for the holidays. If you're gonna have Hollow's End or Halloween, and then change it up. Give people candy corn or spiders or something to throw on people. I'm covered in spiders. That would be a fun game. I'd play more PvP if they did that. Get on that.
Get on that.
Can we have Red Rover PvP?
And actually, and again, one of the things, if you talk to me about the things in MMOs I'm most passionate about, and one of them is non-combat or non-violence related gameplay. Can you make the game fun to play without everything being about being violent? And that sort of contest, tag and Red Rover, those type of hey, I'm not killing your flag and stealing your gold type stuff, killing your flag bearer, I guess, so that it's a person. That would be more compelling to me, and I love PvP, but I would probably do it more if it didn't feel like I'm, murderer.
I've killed all the people. 20. How many points of fun did I have killing people today? 47 points of fun.
How many murders?
Yeah, how many murders
what
did I
is
commit
my
today?
murder to fun ratio?
Yeah.
I'm not.
That's actually a thing.
Murder to fun ratio?
You could probably figure that out through achievement points. Sad. We have 5 minutes left. Real quick, before I know we have 5 minutes, but I want to say, guys, if you haven't known, if you've been under a rock, guys, our next episode is July 27th. That is the episode right before our 1 year anniversary. We've been doing EverCast for 1 year. August 10th will be our 1 year episode. That's 26 episodes as we do, every 2 weeks. So Yep. It's 1 year. Yeah, 1 year of Bare Butts, 1 year of me and Tanlin and Kyles and Chewy, and then even Cal when he was, when Cal was here. It's been 1 year of us doing the show, and we can't do this show without people showing up and being in chat and being silly.
See,
and listen.
And
listen
to
to
let you guys know how much that I have not changed over the year, totally pulled up Tanlin through all of that.
Yeah, and we're still pulling Tanlin. And I was
still so good for 3 months. I had it down, and just tonight, you guys threw me off.
I know, we did.
I am so off my game. I don't.
As soon as I said I have this great idea, let me grant it over, and I was like, this may be a bad idea.
Wow,
it was fantastic.
It's so much faith in me.
No, it was fine. We actually, it ended up being really a lot of fun. I love doing the show, and this was really funny. I think this is one of those fun shows that we wasn't serious, but we had a lot to talk about. We had a lot to say, and I think we had a lot of fun with the chat room tonight. And I know we're not. We had maybe way too much.
I am in negative fun right now. Earning the achievement of pulling a Tanlin is negative fun.
I was going to say those are negative achievement points.
Aw. But we got 500 from you. I think that's a lot of fun. Tobin's tired. This was
It's like nearly 5 a.m.
Yeah, and big
So-
thanks to Tobin. This was the last minute. I did ask him today, like honestly, like 3 hours before the show even went live, to come on and do the show. And he, Tobin's my best friend, and he came on because he gets to stay up and have fun with me for the night.
He just wanted to be here so people would fight over him.
Probably.
Yeah, let's be real. Like, come on.
He's like, wait a minute, I have a chance to talk to ladies all night. Yes.
There are ladies? What?
Yeah, there are ladies in the chat room, and
Oh,
you're
yeah.
a lady, so there's ladies all over. You're a lady.
Right.
Uh,
They're bare butt pals.
yeah, we're bare butt pals.
Woo!
But yeah, guys.
Wow.
August 10th is our 1 year thing, and we'll probably we're gonna do one. I think I can kind of say one thing. I think we're definitely gonna have a prediction show again for SME Live, and it should be a lot of fun.
Probably.
Yep.
And it's been a fun time. We're getting there.
I predict it will not be as hectic as tonight's show.
It couldn't be any more.
Don't say that. Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
No, but I think it's gonna be a really fun show, and I would like to see as many people in this chat room as possible. So please, if you follow us on Twitter, spread the word that our 1 year is coming up. Be here for the 1 year. I don't care what show is on at 10 o'clock or what show is on at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, we should.
West Coast.
No more. No. We're not competing with
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones
Game of
anymore.
Thrones.
What else is on
And
on
Breaking
the
Bad.
Saturday?
Breaking Bad's not on
Yeah,
anymore.
it's done.
When are the Emmys? When are the Emmys coming up?
We should
Are the
look
Emmy-
and see what's going on that.
Yeah,
Sunday
we should
night.
be. Yeah, but
Football
seriously,
season
yeah.
hasn't started.
No, nothing. Yeah, no, but oh jeez. But honestly, thank you guys so much for. It'll be 26, the 26th episode, and we'll be 1 year doing this for you guys, and it'd be awesome. But it's now time to count us out, and Kyles did it for pre-show. Tobin, do you want to do it again?
Nah, I'm cool. If you want to do it, I can see you wanting the limelight.
You
Take
want
it away.
me to do it?
Yeah.
All right, I'll camp us
You're
out.
intimidated by me. I'll let you do it.
I'm not intimidated you by all. Not at all. That one bit.
1v1 me.
I did already. I'll do it again. We have to actually. We'll talk about that.
1v1
Anyway.
bare butts.
Stop. We'll never. We have to end the show. Stop it. All right. For camping in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Thank you all. See you next time.